Hi guys. I'm not going to worry about the standard tagline because the situation is just too somber. What I do want to talk about though is something very serious. In fact, because of it, I really do need to look at leaving YouTube. It's something that isn't just affecting me, it's affecting a lot of people that have ever uploaded a video. For those who aren't aware, around the year 2000, the Federal Trade Commission in the USA, otherwise known as the FTC, I'm sure we've all heard of them, passed something called the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, or COPA for short. Now, what this did was it banned companies from advertising marketing to children. Now, this wasn't such an issue originally, or at least it shouldn't have been with Google and YouTube, because if you look at their terms of service, no one under the age of 13 is meant to be signing up. So there should never have been an issue in terms of YouTube or Google. The problem was that parents and kids themselves were signing kids up for YouTube accounts, which Google, of course, were more than happy to let happen. After all, as people have pointed out, the unofficial slogan with Google is, "You are the product, as am I." Google make their money from ad revenue, from gathering marketing data, from data mining all of us. I think we'd all be shocked if we looked at how much Google had on all of us. And in fact, rumor has it that Google even got to the point with this of bragging that they were the best company in the world for gathering information on kids. So let that sink in. Google were actively exploiting kids for marketing, directly in breach of COPA. Understandably, the FTC came on board. They said, hell no, prosecuted, fined Google and YouTube to the tune of millions of dollars. Chump change in terms of YouTube, but they were forced to act. And YouTube have acted in the slimiest way possible. Part of the settlement of all of this was liability was thrown directly onto me and you, in the case of any of us that have ever uploaded a video. So what this means is that YouTube have created this secondary category over here, shall we say, that is videos deemed for kids. Now, these won't show up in recommendations, comments not allowed on them, notifications won't show up, etc. The works. They're essentially buried because they're no longer viable or profitable to YouTube. They're there, but they may as well not be. That is going to be bad in terms of the community, but that is minor compared to the real problem. The real problem is that over here, every other video that is out there is still getting targeted marketing. Everyone who watches it is still getting data mined. Everyone who watches it is still getting targeted ads. And that includes kids who watch it, which brings me to the problem. YouTubers have an option. They can flag their channels and their videos as deemed for kids or not deemed for kids. Now, the problem is, I'm talking just about COPA for this, for example. But who's this? Skeletor, cartoon character. And the FTC have said they're prosecuting. So let's say the FTC picks up this video right now. They see Skeletor, cartoon character. Wait, kids want to watch that. So say I've identified this as not for kids. The FTC will turn around and say, well, no, hang on. This video is clearly for kids because it's got a cartoon character in it. This is how arbitrary and ridiculous the whole situation is. And I personally, in this case, would be deemed to be in breach of COPA. I personally would be guilty under the settlement of endangering children, of facilitating, the exploitation of children. Now, if I were lucky, that is having my channel shut down, having my entire Google access shut down, so that's my Gmail, everything linked to my Gmail. That is my mobile phone, for example, the works, because that, of course, is all Gmail. That's if I'm lucky. If I'm not lucky, if I'm unlucky, it is a $42,000 US fine per video. Now I'm going to put that in context. Where I live, a 3 or 4 bedroom house I can get for about $350,000 Australian, just in the city I live in. It's still possible to get that here in Canberra. The problem is, though, you do the exchange rate, you're looking at $60,000, $70,000 for a fine. Well, 4 of those, that's enough to buy a house. That's how crazy this is. And if you're thinking of fighting it, forget it, because what you're talking about is an interpretation of a law under US constitutional law. That means a case that has to make it to the Supreme Court, a case that has to have constitutional lawyers being hired, and a case which involves going up against the bottomless pockets of US government lawyers. And by the way, even though I'm in Australia, an extradition treaty means that means nothing. That fine would be sitting there. So if I ever wanted to get a visa into the country, I'd have to pay X numbers of $42,000. Or worse, thanks to an extradition treaty, I could get a very memorable trip over to the US for reasons that are the worst possible. This is the problem I'm facing. This is the problem that every YouTube content creator is facing. And it doesn't matter if we're the big ones or if we're the small ones. If the FTC decides to make an example of you and you qualify as breaching, that's it. You're gone. And I'm not prepared to take that risk. There are other platforms out there. Now, I don't know which I'm going to, and I will make another video letting people know where I am going. And I know I don't have that many subscribers. But I also know I'm an incredibly acquired taste, and I also appreciate the subscribers I do have being a part of this channel. Because I want to keep making content for you guys as I feel the urge. You know me, I don't pump videos out, once a day for the sake of it. I do them when I feel like it, when I feel like there's something there. And unfortunately, YouTube is just not a safe platform to do it when I feel something's there. This video, by way of Skeletor, could easily be deemed for being directed at kids. My videos on Captain Marvel's box office totals. Well, Captain Marvel, superhero. 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old girls love Captain Marvel, supposedly. So they're going to want to go check that out because it says Captain Marvel. This is the problem with this whole situation. And it's a risk that just simply isn't worth taking. But I don't want to leave everyone high and dry, leave you in the lurch. So I'll give you a heads up. So if you want to follow me, you can. That'd be great. If not, all the best for the future. And I hope you guys survive it out of this thing as best you can. Until next time, folks, be kind to each other. You deserve it.